good afternoon, good evening, good morning from Tel Aviv, from Ramallah, and from Amman. On behalf of the board of EcoPeace, on behalf of the co-directors, myself, Yana Abu Taleb, Nada Majdalani, I'm really excited that you're joining us for this second day of the annual conference of EcoPeace Middle East. I'd like to start with a story because I think that messages come across more powerfully when we tell stories. And many of you would have heard from me, if you've heard me before speak, that one of my favorite times at EcoPeace was organizing back in 2007 an event called the Big Jump. And my favorite photo is indeed a photo of Israeli, Palestinian, and Jordanian mayors jumping into the Jordan River. And I often tell the story that the mayors are jumping into the river not because they're best friends, but because they've come to understand that their destiny is shared, that if they're to achieve the type of prosperity and benefits that they desire for their community, they literally need to get wet together. They literally need to jump into the Jordan River in order to help get that message across, that we need to be working together, that we're not traitors, that actually we're the most loyal people to our own communities because we're looking after their interests. What I often don't say in the story is that most of the mayors were very reluctant to jump into the Jordan together, that most of the mayors were in fact fearful of the minority, but very vocal minority of people from their own community that would condemn them the moment that the big jump into the Jordan with the other mayors became public. And of course, those that have followed the big jump have seen that it's covered by BBC and CNN and local Palestinian, Jordanian, and Israeli media. A few mayors indeed immediately said yes and said that they would jump with their counterparts into the river. But most mayors were extremely reluctant. And in fact, it took us, in many cases, several years until the mayors would find the confidence to take the great risk of being seen publicly with their neighbors. And what was the turning point to convince the mayors? Generally youth. Generally when the mayors saw that school kids throughout their community were involved in the Good Water Neighbors program of EcoPeace, were learning about their water reality and their neighbors' water reality, and the need to work together, not as a favor, but in order to improve the reality of their own community, in order to clean up the river, because the river cannot be cleaned up by one side. It must indeed be cleaned up by all sides. And therefore the youth, school kids that were working in the Good Water Neighbors program as youth water trustees, teachers, school principals in their community were calling on the mayors to help solve the problem. And if solving the problem means reaching out to the other side, then we're calling on you to do that. And when there was a significant number of young people doing that, calling on the mayors became leaders. The real leaders of this story, however, are the young people. And that's what the focus of today's event is all about, is the educational programs that we've developed over these last 26 years that have helped not only educate young people, but empower young people to raise their voices, to help solve the critical problems that we face in the region around the conflict, around environment, around the common threat of climate change. In fact, you're going to be meeting, and I'm so excited that you will be meeting many of those young people or representatives of those young people, youth water trustees, teachers, university students, young professionals that are today active in the work of EcoPeace, not only being more aware, but really raising their voices and calling for the actions needed. At EcoPeace, we're proud to have created what we think are Israeli, Palestinian, Jordanian Gretas, as we've all witnessed in the leadership of the young Swedish Greta in moving forward these types of issues across the globe. The actions and the activities that you're going to be hearing about today could not have happened without the support of our friends, of our supporters. And I firstly want to introduce the Swedish ambassador to Israel, His Excellency Erik Ullenhag, who, through the support of the Swedish people, have been supporting the work of EcoPeace for over a decade, and in particular focused on the Good Water Neighbors program. So without further ado, let me welcome Ambassador Erik Ullenhag to state some opening words. Ambassador, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Toda, Shukran. Ladies and gentlemen, and especially friends of EcoPeace. As Gideon mentioned, Sweden has been a long-time partner of EcoPeace. Last year, EcoPeace celebrated 25 years as an organization, and we celebrated the 10 years anniversary of cooperation between Sweden and EcoPeace. I'm proud that Sweden is your partner. I hope that you see the message that yesterday the General Council of to Palestine, Palestinian territory, Jerusalem. Jessica spoke. Tomorrow, Alexandra, the ambassador and my successor in Jordan, will speak and be with you. That's for us sending a sign that we are with you every step on the way in what you're trying to do. I'm proud to be a partner, but I'm also quite humble. I'm humbled by the never-ending commitment by EcoPeace to climate, to environment, and to peace. And the story that Gideon shared about the mayors bathing, I saw the place where the mayors were bathing. I didn't bathe myself, but it's a story that it is possible to get people together to try to do something about cross-boundary issues. And I'm so proud to be a partner of your work. I spent 4 years in Jordan, and I had the opportunity to work with EcoPeace there. It was 4 amazing years. But as always, you have bad days and good days. The worst day for me, I would say, in Jordan over 4 years was in October 2018. We had flash floods coming in. The Jordanian participants remember this, I think. Flash floods coming in, and a school class, almost 20 people or 20 kids died that day. They were going on a picnic. They never came home. Being a parent myself, it's almost impossible to imagine the feeling you would have if you pack the lunchbox or the picnic box in the morning and you don't see the kids in the afternoon. These flash floods were a reminder of the terrible effects we could see from climate change. Climate change is real. It's here. It's absurd that 2020 needs to repeat that message, but it's affecting us all. The sad thing is that it affects this region, and especially poor people, more than rich people in rich countries. Coming from Sweden myself, I have the luxury of being able to prepare for climate change. But many places in the world, we don't have that opportunity. And the work that EcoPeace is trying to do to combat climate change is crucial. An old saying from you and EcoPeace is, environment has no borders. It's sincerely true. A challenge when it comes to climate change is that none of us can solve the problem on our own. It's impossible to sit in Jordan or in Israel or in Palestine or in Sweden and solving the challenge with climate change. But we know that if all of us can do something, and if we work together, Sweden is trying to become fossil fuel, and we are happy to share all our experience when we are doing the journey. If all of us are doing something, we can actually succeed in fighting climate change. Something that's sometimes forgotten, but I think is important also when you see environmental changes, is biodiversity. We are in an acute situation around the globe and in this region when it comes to biodiversity. We have Red Sea close to us, with the coral reefs almost disappearing, the sea tortoise. We need to work together to find ways of realizing that the world resources are not unlimited. Some of you that I have met real life know that I'm a feminist. Being a feminist means that you always have your gender equality glasses on. It means that even when it comes to water, when it comes to energy, realizing that it's often women that pays the highest price when you have lack of water. It's women or young girls that need to carry the water when there is a scarcity of water home to the household. It's women or young girls that are trying to get the fire or some kind of energy when there's a lack of energy. And these women, and especially young girls, spend time in the household instead of formal education or in the labor force. I know that EcoPeace has this feminist perspective, and that's also one reason for why I'm proud to work with you. To be more positive at the end and not only speak about challenges. Gideon, you mentioned Greta Thunberg, teenager from Sweden that started to sit outside the parliament by herself for months, trying to raise awareness of the challenges with climate change. In September 2019, she inspired 7.6 million young people to take the street and ask for action. It's not because of me, but I could be slightly proud to be a countryman of Greta. And I'm also happy that I know that the work that EcoPeace is doing in involving young people is actually what's going to change our common future. Another asset we have in this region is the sun and the wind. Almost unlimited sunshine in Jordan, Palestine, and Israel. The sunshine and the wind gives the opportunity for this region to actually be self-sustainable when it comes to renewable energy, to be leaders in renewable energy. And also, and I know that EcoPeace is working on it, finding ways of maybe exporting from one country the energy, renewables, and getting water in return. That's a way of building bridges. I know that you're now 26 years in EcoPeace haven't always been easy. You are questioned, but it's desperately needed that people work together to save the Jordan River, to do what we can for biodiversity, to use the fact that we are interdependent on each other. And let me finally just wish you good luck with all these 3 days. One day was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And looking forward to continuing cooperation and hopefully also more peace and prosperity coming years. It was more optimistic when EcoPeace was started the organization. Over the years, it has been challenging, but you always have found ways to work together. And that's something that I truly salute you for. Thank you so much. Looking forward to continue cooperation. And hopefully, inshallah, we could meet in real life next year. And then also draw conclusions from the COVID crisis. That's also a crisis that sees no border. What can we learn from that when we need to work together to fight climate change and save environment? Thank you, Toda. Shukran.
Toda rabba, Ambassador. Shukran, Ambassador. We truly are grateful, and we indeed are inspired by much of the work in Sweden, but in Europe as a whole, and Europe's leadership in advancing a European Green Deal that we will speak about in detail tomorrow. The second person that I want to invite to make welcoming words is Daniela Diegelman. from the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung. Now, the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung has been a partner of EcoPeace for less years, but for a significant period of time. I think we're approaching 5 years, and quite amazingly, we work together in so many offices of the foundation, be it in Jerusalem or in Ramallah or in Amman or in Rabat in Morocco, where Daniela sits. The support or the partnership that we have with the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung is an amazing partnership, because it's not only a partnership in programs, it's also a partnership in policy. The uniqueness of working with the political foundation is that with this partnership, doors can be opened in Berlin, in Brussels. So Daniela, we're very grateful for now the several years of partnership that we have in support of this conference today as well. So let me pass on the microphone to you. Thank you, Daniela.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the heartfelt and inspiring words, Ambassador Uhlenhag, and thank you, Gideon, for this very, very kind introduction, which I can only reciprocate. Your Excellency, Ambassador Erik Uhlenhag, distinguished speakers, dear directors of EcoPeace Middle East, Nada Mashtalani, Jana Abu Taleb, Gideon Bromberg, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. It is my honor to send you a very warm welcome on behalf of Konrad Adenauer Stiftung to the second day of the EcoPeace Annual Conference 2020. And it's a real pleasure to see you all gathered today again in the two in-person meetings I think that you're holding in Jordan and Israel, as well as all of you who are participating virtually in Palestine and also other regions around the world, in my case from Rabat, Morocco. Yesterday, during the first day of the annual conference, we have delved deep into the many opportunities the Jordan Valley can offer as a productive economic center in the region, or to be more specific, on its role as a hub for peaceful cooperation and prosperous and sustainable development. We have seen impressive and very concrete initiatives and proposals which go in hand with the Jordan Valley Master Plan EcoPeace has elaborated in the past. And as Gideon has already kindly highlighted and stressed, we as Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, especially the program here in Rabat, but also our country offices, have a long-standing cooperation with EcoPeace Middle East and are looking very much forward to continue this very fruitful cooperation. Therefore, we are more than pleased to support you again during your annual conference this year, which, as always, gathers high-level experts and representatives, both from the political and public sector, from the private sector, from academia and the educational sector and civil society. And all of us who are joining, we are linked by the same beliefs and the same outstanding, if I may say so, commitment for a more sustainable development in socioeconomic, political and environmental aspects in a region that faces a variety of challenges on so many levels. Political with regards to security, environmental degradation, effects of climate change and deterioration of public health, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic has hit the region and the world hard. But not only since COVID-19 though, if we think of the case of Gaza, there has been a more than fragile public health situation already for many years. But the points we would like to shed light on today, counting with the highly appreciated input based on your profound knowledge and experience from our distinguished speakers and also our participants and EcoPeace, of course, the following. The question we're asking is, how can we promote even better a future generation of leaders and introduce them thoroughly to the issues we see as pressing in the region, namely climate change, resource security, and in the light of the pandemic, also public health, as it is crucial to bring about the change we need to generate the peaceful and prosperous environment that we all envision in the Middle East. And this is a question that we ask also ourselves in our own program at Kasri MENA, the regional program for energy security and climate change in the Middle East and North Africa. And since our early days, we are focusing very much on the promotion of young experts in the Middle East, North Africa and beyond. I think some of the speakers today have also been participating in some of our activities, so I'm very glad to see you again. And what we try to do is to connect them with like-minded and committed peers and strengthen their networks and encouraging them also to cooperate together in their own initiatives, if possible, even regional activities between different countries. And one example is our Young Leaders Academy, which we have held in the past years. And the one last year has led to the creation of a network on circular economy for young experts in the MENA region. The challenge, though, we're facing this year and probably also still in the years to come is how to educate and connect the young generation, mainly on a virtual level, if personal meetings, especially between different countries and cross-border, is going to be difficult. It is crucial, though, to continue our endeavors, and in order not to jeopardize the achievements already reached by many of these initiatives we will hear about today, if we want to keep the issues of climate change, water, energy, and environment on the agenda. And we might even learn new methodologies during this pandemic, which could be helpful, especially in an environment where physical meetings can be hindered for political reasons, as we are thriving for creative solutions for educational initiatives as their demand grows. And EcoPeace, as we all know, has always been at the forefront of creative and innovative solutions. So we are very much looking forward to explore some of these with all of you today. And as Gideon has already highlighted, it is with great pleasure to see so many of the young generation standing up and raising their voices in order to raise awareness, advocate, and showcase their impressive initiatives on the topics we all hold dear to our hearts. So I'd like again to express our gratitude to EcoPeace for their outstanding work in the region and the very committed and dear to our heart cooperation we're having, and also to all of our speakers today and the participants, and especially to a very inspiring young generation that is represented here. Thank you all very much, and I'm looking forward to hear more from you. Thank you.